Well, hello there. I know this isn't normally where we meet, but today is a very special day. That's right. Because today is the end of the month. And what better way to celebrate the end of the month than to look back at what happened? And so, first of all, I'd like to go ahead and draw some attention to all of the runs we've had this month. So first off, we had, I believe, runs total. Let me pull up the here. Let's go ahead and start with Battle Network 6 and work our way backwards. We had 5 runs submitted to the this month by Miri, Helios, Dimes, Phantomat, and all different varying times of Miri. Any percent. Very, very good stuff all. Now, next up, we actually had a run submitted not only Battle Network 5, but snagging the world record. And we will look at the full board of hits. But our very own Devil JP taking the any percent record on Battle Network 5, which is an immaculate feat, and I'll tell you how much. To end it off, some lunatics played the first Battle Network. I'm kidding. We've got 2 different runs that were submitted. Here, you snagging the 3rd place spot on Delete Throne Man, and Jagoomba bopping himself in the single segment category to once again snag it with a 120. Impressive stuff all around. But let me pull up big ones as I mentioned. So, first off, we'll go ahead and take a look at the BN5 leaderboard. So, Devil taking place, but look at the time amount that he's taken it by. It's roughly a minute and a half. Doesn't, unless you're a speedrunner, in which case that's a huge amount of time for how much time has been invested in the game. After that, we take a look back at the BN1 leaderboard, where Jagoomba has managed to put about a 2.5 gap himself a second. Both of these records are very impressive. I'm hoping to see more runs here in the month of February. But we can't look forward to the new month yet, because we've still got some fun things we get to reflect on in the previous month. I've got something very special. Oh. So, let's take a look at it. Pretty much anything you throw. Uh-oh.
Fat kid.
Dios mio.
Fat kid.
Oh, down to the wire.
He's gambling it all on the
why
bow.
do these guys worry? What?
It starts getting you in those, what's it called? Oh, this is gonna be a massive big bomb right now. Black bomb.
Oh, huge.
And on the grass panel.
Toasted.
Beautiful.
Fuck. That worked out a lot better in my brain. Trust me, I'm good at this game.
I hope you're ready for a little gift, chat. Fat Kid is coming up on his first kettle. Let's watch. Bated breath.
He's got this one. He's got this one. I told him how to do it yesterday.
I believe.
I didn't do it.
I hate you, fat kid.
I mean, I got the fight, I just didn't do the right strat.
He didn't. Yeah, no, he did it fine. He just didn't do it the way I told him to yesterday.
Oh my god! What is that? Please give me some. I should have taken some recos, but oh my god. Oh. Okay, we got a mock on 1T. Oh, Jesus. That was just sad to see. Oh my god.
I did it. Did them all.
Wow. No, that was me.
Flawlessly executed.
Some you lose some, I suppose.
Flawlessly executed.
Waiting for.
Yeah, not a good enough Gregor split. Okay, that's funny. I've never done that one before. Never been 0.1 second off of a PB before. That's hilarious.
I like this fight.
Yeah, that's a hand. Well, I actually.
Damn, that's always gonna heal.
Ow. Oh!
Ooh, wow.
I meant to move forward.
Oh no! Here we
Sorry,
go
everyone.
again.
Prepared to get disappointed.
To a random encounter. That's bingo.
Like that. Like, where am I going, dude? Here he is. No! I accidentally slipwalked off him. Fuck! Dude. Oh my god. No. No.
You fool!
Good grasp. Huh?
Damn it.
What?
Damn it.
Why doesn't it consume the grass panel?
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't seem to have
Because I guess it's fixed damage and it doesn't matter because it's a trap.
Fat Kid managed to destroy all of the grass panels to like the least optimal way.
I hit him with one. I consider that a big.
No, that was Element Trap that did that.
Night.
Have fun.
I don't know about your decisions here, Mega. Is that thing still alive? Uh-oh. No!
Alright, Fat Kid, start singing.
And my heart will go on.
Oh.
Is that?
Okay, never mind.
No! Dude, he came out of there like a jump scare, dude. Holy crap.
Do it again.
Why was that? Why was that the first thing I heard?
This strat's a bit more. Eh. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Okay, don't do it this way. Okay, so we're not finishing the run. I didn't think that would do that much damage. God damn.
This isn't green.
You know.
Alright, where's my turn?
Fat Kid went up the elevator before he realized he was not where he meant to be.
I was like, wait a minute, there's no elevator in green.
There's no green down here.
If you had said, like, oh, I thought I was walking into the air tram or something, I would have been like, oh, okay, fair, but...
He went all the way up the elevator before he recognized it.
Oh,
Oh my god, dude. I'll be right back. Game's garbage. Oh, okay. That works. You can reflector to electric. I didn't think you could.
It's this, by the way.
Oh!
No.
Wait, are you dead?
No.
Yeah!
Oh,
1 HP, baby.
You got sent in
Perfectly
and won a fight at
timed.
1 HP. Huge.
who needed this?
Oh, that was
Yo.
I need
massive.
to get tented.
Let's go!
I don't have one a fight.
Bingo, baby!
Well, how'd y'all like it? Now, I did hear that a mic was gonna have to talk a little better here, just to make sure it can pick up. Here. So, that is... I did all the editing on everything you see, but every single one of those clips, genuine clips from channels, whether they be tournament ones from... or ones from independent channels such as Risch, you're gonna want to follow. I'll tell you right now, it's just a grand time to be had by all. It really is. Oh, hold on. Let me fix my mic real quick. All right, hold on. Maybe I... little bit of tech difficulty. I apologize. Let's see. How's this? Sound better? I know I'm speaking softly for me. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't break anything. Does this sound better? I want to fix it before we continue. So. We're all good, then we'll keep on going. Wasn't me, it was me. Alright. So as long as we all sound good, then that. Please don't, boy. So. Let's take a look here. Right. Well, I'm gonna assume we're probably all right. Hey, hopefully it's out. Right. Check one. All right. I think I fixed it. So as long as that sounds that, oh, this still doing it? Yeah, I know I'm muted. I know I'm muted. That's okay. I'm just gonna have to speak closer to the mic. Here we go. Who knows? Anyways, all is well. And now that we figured out everything, we are absolutely fine as far as all this. So, all we gotta do now is on. Oh, this shouldn't be happening. Wait.
1 1 9 2 2 9 1 1. I'm in. Starting tracking. Meta Ruler, a licensed net battler, connected to Park Area 3. HQ has heard reports of a virus in this area, and they have sent me to assist with the monthly virus scan. Meta, are you okay? Come in.
Well, I think I fixed whatever was going on. There's 42. What are you doing here?
HQ sent me. Where's the virus?
Incredible. Well, there's viruses all around us, but luckily here, we're going to be showing people that there's plenty of ways to get rid of them. And as we saw from the clip compilation, some ways to not get rid of them. But everyone say hello to our very first guest on Monthly Virus Scan, co-founder of Team Garage42. So,
Happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I'm glad you were able to accept on such short notice in the grand scheme of things.
HQ made it a priority.
Indeed. And speaking of priorities, I've got a few priority questions. So, first of all, a little bit of backstory on you.
I am Trash42, also known as T-Terra-J42, also known as TJ, also known as Terra, among other things. I started on Twitch in 2013, and that was when a bunch of us started kind of at the same time. Games Done Quick was just getting started, and this was back when Speed Demos Archives was a thing. And so people were like finding their first speed games, and one general advice was to kind of like pick your favorite and start with that. And so Battle Network was my favorite series, so I went on to the SDA forums, and there was a single Battle Network thread where everyone was sharing strategies. And then that's where I met Methodical, Prismatic Black, a few of the early people, Silver. Yeah, and then we just started sharing strategies, started streaming on Twitch, doing first runs, and forming the group that eventually became Team BN.
That's absolutely amazing. Incredible as a bit of an origins. I think it's just so. I mean, those didn't catch it. Co-founder of Team BN, the very channel you are on right now. Well, kind of. There was one other channel before that, but this is what became this.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it more later on, because essentially we started in 2013. So this year will be like the 10th year that, or the 10th anniversary of our very first stream, which was on the previous channel, because the Team BN channel started in like 2014.
That's just absolutely incredible. And be looking for that, as yes, it's the 10th anniversary. It's crazy to think about. So, I guess with that, a follow-up question. So, I got to know how you got started just speedrunning in general. Was it from this things like this, or did you think about it before you got into BN?
My introduction to speedrunning and Twitch was in 2012. Someone was aware of Games Done Quick and that they were going to stream the charity marathon in 2013. And so I created an account, followed that channel, and I don't remember if I caught it live or if I watched highlights, but Awesome Games Done Quick 2013 was my introduction to speedrunning and Twitch. And then browsing the internet at that time, there weren't too many places to go. There was like Speedruns Live, Speed Demos Archives. Those were the two main places, and SDA, Speed Demos Archives, had the forum where the conversations were going on. And so that's where I was introduced to the concept, and then, as mentioned previously, started with my favorite series, which was Mega Man Battle Network for the Game Boy Advance. I started with 2. 2 is my favorite.
Really? Battle Network 2. That'll be a question that will come up later as well. But I got one more for you before we move on here. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Indeed.
I think my favorite color is gray. But
gray, really?
Contextually, it can vary. Sometimes it's purple. Sometimes it's blue. Sometimes it's green, but always gray.
Well, I'm an enjoyer of purple myself, so I definitely respect that.
Purple's an underrated color.
I wholeheartedly agree. Well, Tara, we're going to have you on in just a little bit, but before that, I have to introduce my second guest, as not only do we have Tirage42 here, but we have another longtime speedrunner. So you've probably seen him in, well, let's see, about 10 minutes ago. But please give it up for my second guest. We bring on Risch himself.
Hello, everyone. What is up? It is I, the one and only Risch, Christopher, Chris, whatever you want to call me. Any of those names work. Definitely not Risch. Definitely not Risch.
Ah, yes, definitely not Risch. Of course, of course. How could I confuse you? Now, I've got a quick questions for you as well. And I think I'm going to start off with giving us some history. Tell us kind of what you've been doing either recently or just in the past.
So, kind of going along with what how Tara's answers were. I first actually started streaming around the same time as him in 2013, but I was not a speedrunner at all at that point. I was more of just like, I was just a teenager trying to get into Twitch, you know. I played a lot of like League of Legends, Hearthstone, random stuff like that, you know, casual popular games. And then I didn't actually get started with speedrunning until 2017 or so, summer of 2017. where I unintentionally skipped a cutscene in Star Force 1 and decided that I was gonna see how fast I could go from there, compared in-game time to leaderboard times, and decided, you know what, let me see if I can speed up my time a little bit, you know? And so I'm one of the few people in Team BN who's probably started with the Star Force series, actually.
I was about to say, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I started with Star Force 1. For those of the people around at that time, probably thought of me as the weird guy who used that one Dismume emulator that gives really high resolution upscaling of the 3D in-game in-battle models and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just went through Star Force 1 through 3, and from there moved on to pretty much all of the battle networks I've run at this point. I've done 100% routes for the Star Force games, haven't quite done that for Battle Network, but I have at some point held world record in every Battle Network game, any percent at this point. And same thing for Star Force, actually, as well.
Which is absolutely crazy to think about. Now, how many did you hold all at one time?
The most I've held at one time was, I think, 3. I think I had 4, 5, and maybe like 3. Or it was like, I think there was a third one in there at some point. I might have had 4, 5, and 6 simultaneously, but I don't actually remember.
I mean, hey, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the only other thing I have to ask is, how did you find Team BN if you started with Star Force?
So that's a good question. I think at that point in Team BN's lifespan, they had already started to get into Discord and using speedrun.com. So because obviously I just didn't really know much about speedrunning, I looked up like something like Mega Man Star Force speedruns or something like that. And of course, the first thing that pops up on Google is speedrun.com. Checked it out, saw there was a Discord link, probably joined that. And eventually, very shortly after that, the first Team BN stream I actually tuned into was the Star Force Marathon, which, if any of you guys were around for that, it was certainly something. It was certainly something. I'm sure a lot of people look back on it fondly, and other people look back at it as, what the heck was going on there? But yeah, that was a fun time. Popped into chat. Everyone was really friendly. They're all like, is that the Risch?
Is that where that originated from?
Yeah, that was where that's where Chaotic at the time literally did that. He I just popped in and said like hello during Star Force 1 or 2, and Chaotic was just like, is that the Risch?
Origin stories.
But yeah. I actually had a fun little interaction with Team BN in some capacity before that, where I was casually playing through Battle Network 5 on my stream, and I was actually playing through Proto Man, which I'd never done before, and I was on like Liberation 6 or something, and I got raided by actually our other guest, Taraj, who sent everyone over, and we're just kind of like hanging out, playing Battle Network. Got to Liberation 6, and we learned why you never use Medi in combat, basically.
Oh, yes. I believe, remember seeing this clip.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same one that's been logged in infamy?
Yeah, that's the one. That one was before I ever actually speedran, but that was my first introduction to the Battle Network community and whatnot.
Makes sense. I mean, hey, TJ brings up a good point. I also got to meet Team BN through a raid while I was doing post-game Battle Network 3. I distinctly remember that. Mostly because I'm pretty sure either Arathar or Kilios told me they'd give me bits if I just turned around and didn't fight. I don't even remember. I think I was getting ready to fight Serenade. They're like, go back. Go fight all the bosses first. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll leave. But yeah, post game, pretty good.
Kilios did lose money that day.
What a good time. Well, I guess my final question before we go to Roundtable is, what is your favorite color, Risch?
I'm wearing it. It's red. Shoutouts to red. Easily the best color, without a doubt. And if you disagree, you are simply wrong. Thank you.
That's right. If you didn't know, Risch is the man of red. If you think of red, you probably think of Risch and vice versa. But with that, thank you so much, Risch. Let's go to our roundtable, shall we? With both of you on, we've got a few questions up and ready to go. So, first of all, I gotta ask, which of the 10 main games is your favorite to speedrun? We'll start with you, Tara.
My favorite to speedrun is Battle.Network 2. That's mostly nostalgia. I think as far as like the run itself being fun, it would either be 3, because 3 has a little bit of everything. Whether you do single segment or manip, it kind of is the best representation of the game in a speedrun form. Or 5, because the liberation missions are interesting.
All right. What about you, Risch?
I've actually brought this up many times, but my favorite is definitely Battle.Network 6. I think that it is overall like the perfect encapsulation of just like playing Battle Network, and because like it doesn't really have manipulation, which while is very fast and really interesting and cool, like I love Battle Network 3 speedruns as well, and I loved running BN1 any percent, but I think that it can be very complicated for a new person to understand what's necessarily going on when they see all of these like fancy manips and whatnot. And Battle.Network 6 is just like a perfect encapsulation of just like fully optimized Battle Network, just movement and combat and whatnot. BN4 also kind of has that same thing with BN5, but they feel a little bit less optimized, and also BN4 uses a lot of dark chips, which casual players might not be super comfortable with. So I think that overall, like Battle.Network 6 is just easily my favorite overall, and one of the better ones to simply showcase for especially newer people to the speedrunning scene.
Understandable. Hey, I like it. Both good answers. Now, I absolutely love Battle Network 4 as a speedrun. I do want to get into 5 and 6. So, as to whether I'm going to hate myself for 5, we'll find out. So, which of the 10 main games is your favorite to play casually? We'll start with you this time, Risch.
So, funnily enough, I'm probably going to have to agree with Hera, but I don't know if it's his favorite casually as well. Battle Network 2 is easily my favorite casually. Battle Network 3 is usually the go-to answer for a lot of people, but I think that the main story of 2 and 3 are relatively comparable, and I think that the post-game of 2 is a lot more streamlined, while there's a lot more content in 3, for example. 2 is just overall like much just quicker and a lot of like just still has a lot of the great content that you'd expect to see, like really difficult fights and whatnot. And it is one of, like, I actually haven't gotten around to fully completing Battle Network 3's post game yet, simply because I got locked by needing the other version's chips when I last casually played it. So, so Battle Network 2 overall, I think is like just as good as Battle Network 3, just a little bit less post game content, and I think that that kind of gives it the edge in my opinion overall.
Seems fair to me. Well, Tara, is 2 your favorite for casual, or do you have a different answer?
Well, I'll start by saying it's interesting how 3 locked some of the best content behind so many secrets and needing both versions. Like even 2 has an entire separate hard mode that I've never played. 2's my favorite, and I didn't even know it was thing, because to get it you have to get the 5th star, which you can only get by doing like lots of PvP between 2 mostly complete versions to get 10. So it's kind of wild how much hidden stuff is in it. So fortunately, the Legacy Collection I think will make it easier to do some of the post game and unlock it. And so I think on April 14th or 15th, Risch might finally complete Alpha Omega.
Most certainly.
Excellent.
But yeah. I think for me, casually, it's like 2 I definitely have the most nostalgia for, and I think it has one of the coolest post-game areas. But I'm starting to think that, because I haven't replayed the games casually in a long time, but I think now if I were to go back and do it, I would probably have the most fun with either 1, because I can manip everything. So casual manip, where it's like, oh, I would like 10 copies of this chip, please, and then you just get it. Or 5, like having done Nebula Gray Omega twice now, so that combat and some of those chips you have in the liberations, are really fun, and it would be nice to get to experience it without a timer running.
It's a good point. That's part of the reason why I ask, is because I feel like some games are probably more fun to speedrun than do casually. I, for instance, think that, you know, Battle Network 1, where you get guarantees, is probably slightly less suffering. Now, part of that's just because of the fact that I have no idea where I am half the time. Please put in the OSS map, like, or logo or something in the collection. Please, I'm begging you. I am a man who's not good at directions.
It's also kind of similar for me, where BN6 is my favorite speedrunning wise, but to me, like the post game for 6 is a bit lacking compared to 2 and 3, so that's why I typically lean more towards 2 or 3 for casual play.
That makes sense. So now here's a question. I'm pretty sure, because BN6 has cut content, if I remember correctly, or at least was missing one of the graveyard areas. Do you think adding that back in would change your opinion if they have it in the Legacy Collection?
From what I've seen of it, it's not really that much more. You get a brand new undernet area that is absolutely miserable to traverse through. You get a new graveyard area, which is mostly just like it kind of just makes you. It's a longer walk to fight base. And there's the immortal area where you can do a Boktai crossover scenario. And the Boktai crossover scenario doesn't seem like a whole lot of content overall. It's like maybe a tiny bit more, but it's I mean, it'll certainly be interesting to experience for the first time. But you can visit Bubble Man's grave. That's a thing.
Yo, really?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, never mind. Never mind. Everything changes. Bubble Man's grave. Being Force post game, I do think is pretty good. I'd probably, I mean, for me, I'd have to say it's probably going to be BN. I think I'd probably still say 3. I love 5s a lot, but man, there's nothing quite like just the serenity of the post game in 3. And 2s is pretty good too. It's very hype. Like, it's the contrast. It's like, whoa, I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. So I love both those. All right, well, now that we talked about games that you like playing casually and speedrunning, what's your favorite run to watch? Like as a spectator? So, and either you can go first on this one.
Risch, you want me to, or
yeah, go for it, Tara. Go for it, Tara.
Because I'm thinking, it's like,
I have to think.
Which run do I like to watch? I think it's less about the run and more about the runner. Because I'll watch Fat Kid play anything. So like, there's one answer, but it's fine. Like it's nice watching people as they sort of get deeper into runs. So it's like watching someone like pick up 2 for the first time and kind of get better at it. But watching Dallas, like his entire arc of picking up RNG manipulation, getting good at the game, and then getting world record. It's like, that was a great experience. So I think it's just like watching runners get good at the game. And Jagoomba is just always pleasant to watch because you're like, all right, what's the best way to go through this area? And it's like, yeah, that was it. He did it.
Yes, if you need anything to impress you, watch Jagoomba's Sky Gauntlets. Like, just go look at one of his BN6 runs. Holy smokes, that's what blew me away.
I can confirm. He has some great movement. It was actually really fun when he was first starting to run BN6, and like he would take some ideas of movement from my runs because we were kind of running simultaneously. He would take some like small movement optimizations, and I would see his stream and take some small movement optimizations from him. We just kept going back and forth with like those little things. The way he optimized Sky Gauntlets was truly incredible. Basically like revolutionized top level BN6 play, because like overall the difference between old like Sky Gauntlets golds of like 1040, maybe like 1030s ish, to you can get a 940 on Sky Gauntlets. You could basically save a full minute just by drawing well and executing well on those fights, right? It's actually ridiculous how much time you can save on that particular split.
And also air spin.
Yeah, air spin, just seeing it in use, I think was like the key thing that I needed to understand, because every time people talked about airspin, like in before Jagumba showed up, I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's an extra lotto code. I'm sure it's nice on some fights, but like seeing the creative usages of airspin just made it so perfect to understand. Like, yes, this chip is basically another M boomer. You have to get it. There's no reason not to.
One of my favorite clips is, I don't think it was 6, it was probably 5, but it was Jagumba, and he threw out airspin, and he said, "Spin to win."
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
I remember that VN5 clip as well.
It's so good.
To go back to the original question, though, I kind of agree with Tara. I don't think any particular Battle Network game is like better to watch. I think that there are some categories that I would say are interesting to watch if you are new to the series and haven't really watched a whole lot of speedruns. For example, BN1 Any%, and I know some people don't like it, but BN5 Any%, both are really cool runs to watch at least the first time, just to be like, what is going on here? BN1, super great for just seeing like how insane RNG manipulation is. BN5 Any% is just really funny to watch how absolutely broken the game is, and it's really cool to essentially see some type of like credits warp in a Battle Network game, which pretty much doesn't really exist. You can argue Reddit skip. I think that we have different definitions of a credits warp, but but yeah, I think that those two are really good runs to watch at least one time. As for watching those categories over and over and over again, maybe not so much. But either way, it's just really cool to watch someone like grow in the game and learn more about it and be like, oh yeah, this just works, and like, you know, be told things by other runners as well, and think about it when they get to that point in the game and be like, oh yeah, I remember doing that now. It's just like, that's the most fun part of it. And then eventually watching people who are really good, such as Kamari, even just like doing runs and like praying for them to get the good RNG, you know, and like watching them do things absolutely correctly for the most part.
Oh yeah.
And praying, like just basically, it feels like you're doing the run, but you're not the one doing the run, so you're like still able to get like a bit more excited, and you don't have like the negative side effect of like, oh, I don't want to mess up, you know.
Right, exactly. It's like watching somebody, you know, let's take really any of the Mega Man games. You see somebody pick up a Battle Network game, a Star Force game, and, you know, if you're a fan of like X or Zero or any of these things, it's fun to watch people play it for the first time, because you're like, ooh, you know, they're getting to learn it, they're getting to see, you know, the stuff in it. It's going to be one of those feelings where come April, when we get a lot of people to buy the collection, it's just going to be fun, because there's going to be a lot of people that their barrier of entry was, well, I'm not going to go fish out a 20-year-old game. But now, it's going to be, it's going to be so good. I'm excited for it as well. All right, well.
I thought of another answer. I think if I had to watch a speedrun category, one that would be interesting is probably being one single segment. Because I think it's like that one has enough like little bits of variety in it and adaptability that seeing people like grind out different runs of that would be interesting. And then also, yeah,
I can absolutely agree with that. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and then the other thing, because I forgot, is like watching people run this would probably just be fun, almost regardless. But network transmission, yeah,
it's a fun game.
Network transmission is great. And one thing I did want to mention is kind of a bit of what you said, Meta, where newer runners are really fun to watch, not just because like they're gonna grow and get better, but also because like sometimes because they're not super familiar with things, they will do things wrong according to our definitions, and that can help like expand further strategies that might end up being faster. Like it allows you to consider different possibilities that maybe you didn't consider before. For example, I think actually Past recently was talking about like a different order in Robo Control Comp 1 where he grabs the HP memory earlier so you can have 75% run rate for the whole time. And I looked into routing that area a little bit differently. I don't think that there's a need for that strategy just yet, but it's like it's super close to being something that like top runners could go for to potentially save some time overall. But it's like it's just fun to consider those possibilities.
It's a good point. Yeah, the wrong moves of today could be the right moves of tomorrow, depending on how everything works out.
That's how Buster Bug and BN6 started, to be fair.
That
is quite literally how it started. We've reverted back just because of how optimal this Navico set it is, but that is how it originated.
Well, sure. So somebody just programmed wrong, and they're like, "Wait, this is pretty good."
Yeah, it was actually Camper back when he was learning BN6. There were two mistakes that he made very close to each other that were really fun to look into. The first one was he bugged Buster Pack, and we're like, huh, that's not really a negative side effect. In fact, it might be a little bit of a beneficial one if you just get lucky. My favorite sentence. But the other thing was looking into Evil Spirits, for example. He did it in a slightly different order that resulted in him getting no bug frags at the end of Central 2, for example. And it was like, oh, that might be slightly faster. It's a difference of like 1 second actually being slightly slower, but it was just like very cool to see that.
Right. That's I think the fun part about getting more people into it, and I wholeheartedly echo both your sentiment. It's fun to watch people learn it. It's fun to just be able to see people like grow and learn, and then yeah, the way that they think about the run, if they find one difference, you take a look and you're like, whoa, I would have never thought to do that. Or like junction off this way, or make this movement, take this chip, whatever that may be. Oh, that's so interesting.
It might not end up being optimal, but sometimes it opens up good alternate strategies, so you can kind of pick. It's like, well, I'd rather do it this way because it adds consistency, or I have to do less of a particular edit or movement.
Right. And so you use it differently. You can even use it for like, whether you're doing reset speed runs or you're doing a marathon. Well, I'd probably go with the consistent strat. You can change it up a little bit. Have some fun. Like grabbing the blue mystery data over the gap in BN4. Completely useless, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes it's just fun to do.
It is optimal in Duo Omega.
True. That is true. It saves you like, would that be like 9 steps, I think?
It's a little bit of time, but you got to do it because
hey.
For content and for all of the frames.
It's very, very true. Now, a couple other preferential questions before we close it here. I gotta know, what's your favorite chip element or type? What kind of chips do you like using in a casual run? Risch, you look like you got an answer.
Probably. I used swords a lot my first time through. I know. It'd be interesting to go back and look at. I think I still have some of the original cards. See what my save file folders have, but because I definitely remember, especially in 2, I had a folder that was just like multiple copies of Life Sword 3. Something satisfying with the
absolutely. Well, as the connoisseur of the color red, I have to go with heat. Obviously, I like always tried to take heat chips whenever I could, especially casually, and that's why it kind of just works out. Being able to be a speedrunner of Gregar and using Heat Cross and Black Bomb, I'm like, oh, I love that. Absolutely, all day.
That's great. I think my favorites, and the reason possibly why I love 5 casually the most, Magnum and Tank Cannon, baby. I like the big blast attack.
Magnum's really cool. In fact, thinking about it, seeing the randomizer runs of Battle Network 3 have given me a lot of appreciation for chips that I never really saw use of. Because when I first started watching speedruns, obviously, you're just going to see like Bar Sword, maybe some Gut Straight, maybe some Master Style. Stuff that is very consistently going to be used, but like it's not the whole cast. And then you watch like maybe an Alpha Omega run will start to make use of some other chips, but then randomizer runs especially, shout outs to Sensor 3, shout outs to Needler chips, shout outs to Magnum as well. Like all 3 of those I've seen a lot of use of in randomizer runs, and they're just amazing chips.
Magnum 2 is clutch in a couple post-game fights.
Yeah, because Magnum 2 is the weird one, because it goes horizontal.
Yeah.
And then 3 will alternate, which I absolutely love.
Didn't realize that. That does remind me, I think my favorite chip is still Volcano, just because, like, what even is that hit pattern?
I love Volcano. I absolutely love. I've never even used it, but just watching other people use it, I'm like, yes.
Volcano, yeah.
That's one advantage that I think the white version has for Alpha Omega, is if you want to go with the not optimal but way more fun volcano folding.
Yep.
That's what we need to see. Next Alpha Omega run, Risch, if you're running or anybody else, you got to run Volcano. That's what we're saying here.
I'm sure my white PB has that. So if you want to go check a slower run.
We're gonna have a fun thing coming up when the collection comes out. So.
Absolutely. Oh man, those are all really good chips. I would love hearing what people's favorites are because it's just different play styles, and that's what you're gonna get to see. Yo, heck, online net battles. We are living in an age where what Battle Network predicted in the early 2000s is basically here, and now it's getting re-released. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Also, thanks for the reminder when you mentioned PvP. Shout out to Corn Fiesta. Very, very good PA. Highly recommend.
Corn Party.
Who doesn't love Corn Fiesta? Cobb Champ for all.
I think other good chips is anything with spin in the name. Air Spin is good. Aqua Whirl and BN5 might be one of my favorite chips. I use that a lot. Maybe the Gray Omega.
Now we're talking BN5. Shout outs to Drill Arm, obviously. You know, Lucky Typhlosions.
The Lucky Typhlosions.
Drill Arm, man. Oh my goodness.
The drill that will pierce the heavens.
That's true. Yeah, BN5 just has one of the best chipsets in the entire series, in my opinion. That's probably my favorite standalone chipset is BN5.
It really does have a lot of really good chips. It's kind of unfortunate that some of them are a bit more difficult to acquire the like higher levels of because you have to get through a lot of the post game to unlock that. But overall, they have a lot of really interesting and unique chips.
That's true. Well, Mogul, I had to limit it to the 10 main games because if I put BCC, it'd be an easy answer all the way, baby.
All day. Shoutouts to playing BCC while technically working.
You know it, baby. All right. Well, with the chips in mind, I'm gonna ask next on character. Who was you all's favorite net Navi in the series throughout the games?
So I usually defaulted to a red Navi for a long time, which was Burner Man. I really liked Burner Man a lot. He's kind of just a weird BN4 Navi if you think about it, but it's like, I don't know. I think that his design is overall super, super cool. In more recent years, and even when I played casually, I loved Tomahawk Man and BN5. That's easily my favorite character without a doubt, so...
Now, do you like him for design or like actual mechanics or both?
It's a little bit of both. I like his attitude in the games. I like his I like the way he plays in the game. I think that he looks pretty cool as well. It's like everything about him I just love. The only thing is he could use a little bit more red in his design. That's about it.
Fair enough. Get some more red in the headdress or something. Come on.
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
Do Risch cross with him. He's just completely red. All right. What about you, Tara? What's your favorite net Navi?
I don't know that I have a favorite. It's tough. I'm thinking it's in the context of the games. Woodman was a ton of fun in BCC.
Yep.
Pelvic thrust, Skyblade. And then BN5, it's like Tomahawk Man is such a strong Navi. He's very satisfying, very fun to play. But I think it's like if I'm gonna pick a favorite, I gotta give it to Nightman.
I knew it. When I mentioned Tomahawk Man, I looked at Tara and I was like, Nightman, yeah, that's the one.
That's completely fair. No, I love Nightman. Nightman, I think for a while was definitely my favorite. I playing Team Colonel because I mean that was what I played as a kid, and I love the team. The entire team for Team Colonel is just great. And I'd say the other ones that I'd put in top 3, I'd put Nightman, I'd put Laserman. I love Laserman too much.
Laserman's a really cool design.
He's so evil and intimidating. He shows up in darkness and it's just like, uh-oh. Like, before that, you've seen some evil now. You've seen, like, base. You saw Darkman in BN3, but, like, Laserman's that extra level of, he has darkness, and he has, like, just more of a noble air about him. Darkman's just kind of a straight-up, just, like, a killer, an assassin. He enjoys slaying people. That's what you expect. But Laserman's, he's got a plan. Like, he's got 5 steps laid out, and you're just one of them. So.
Yeah, Regal's a good villain.
Absolutely.
Laserman.
Regal's my favorite of the 3-ish main villains we get. So
It's a shame they couldn't bring back Laserman for BN5.
ah, true. Yeah.
Despite him being Regal's Navi, you know, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like Cosmo Man kind of defaults to being his Navi because he's the Darkhold leader, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't work as well, man. It just doesn't work as well. I still stand by the notion that Laserman being destroyed in space, his darkness reformed into Cosmo Man because he like pulled in all of the space data around him. So like that's kind of his evolved form of it.
It's an interesting theory.
That's just I like it for lore just because it's like, yeah, why would he get rid of Laserman otherwise? So it's like, come on. I also would have liked to see the return of Duo in Mega Man Star Force, but that's just like, how did we miss that? Like, huh? He literally said he'd come back to Earth in whatever amount of time. Why didn't he come back?
I feel like it might have been thousands of years, and it was technically only 200 in Star Force, but, you know.
200, 1,000.
But here's the deal, though. You're not even, like, in Star Force. You can go pretty much anywhere. I mean, you go so far into space. He didn't even have to come back to Earth. We could have found him. They're like, oh, what is this? I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't compatible with waves.
Star Force 4, Battle Network 4, Duo.
Yeah, let's just bring back another asteroid for Star Force 4 because we haven't used that idea already in that series.
Watch
we go to the asteroid.
It's an evil asteroid, but this one's not red.
Exactly.
All right, well, I guess let's end with a real fun question. Oh, and before I go on, my favorite Navi's Colonel, 100%. I love Colonel. I love the design. I really like Barrel. I like Colonel Soul because I like being able to change my Buster into tank cannon.
It's a seldom used mechanic of Colonel Soul because, like, you know, you get Colonel Soul really close to the end of the game.
Right.
You know, so
you're like, I already have such powerful things. I already have Night Soul and Drill Arm. I got the key to the end of the game. That's the first soul.
Yep.
Plus, I have a soft spot in my heart for Dark Sonic.
Oh, yeah. Dark, or the DS version, like whenever you've got like the Navi supporting you, the Ghost Navi's following you around, Colonel's always just tremendously funny. Just shows up, blasts the Battle Green mystery data with his cannon, pieces out. You're welcome.
Colonel, please!
I'm helping.
Guess I haven't had that happen to me before. All right, well, the final question I'm going to ask you both. This may be a bit divisive. What is the perfect breakfast food? Either one of you is welcome to
I will let
start.
you go first, Tara.
Mate, no, you know, I need to know what is the appropriate, correct answer here.
Well, I mean, that's why I was going to let you state your opinion first so that I could state the facts later. But the correct answer, as we all should know here by now, is just a nice, solid stack of pancakes. All day, all day.
I mean, hey. What about number-wise? How many pancakes are we talking in that stack?
You know, sometimes I used to eat 2 pancakes when I was younger, and that might be a big reason why I'm very skinny. But I think that 4 is actually like a really solid number, and most places don't actually serve you 4 pancakes. You usually get like 3 as a short stack, or you get 5. And sometimes I find myself struggling to eat 5 full pancakes, especially if I'm not like starving or something. So I think that 4 is just perfect amount.
4 pancakes, Battle Network 4, Star Force 4. My God, we figured it out. Risch is starring in Star Force 4. I can't believe it.
It's all coming together.
Exactly. All right, well, now that we've apparently had the objective facts, what do you think, Tara? What is the perfect breakfast food?
I can't top pancakes. My breakfast is usually nothing. Take that.
Tara!
Most important meal of the day. I'll have my coffee, and that's all I need to start.
Now, you're a coffee man. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Man,
Coffee.
I cannot agree to not eating breakfast. I can't.
Tastes like a virus.
Oh no!
I can't live without eating
the
breakfast
officials.
in the morning.
Not the coffee, anything but that.
I found the virus.
Not like this, dude.
Not the apple.
I can't deal with the apple virus, man.
The worst virus, dude.
Oh my gosh. Well, that just about wraps up all our questions for today. So, first of all, I'd like to thank both of you for being on the premiere episode here. And, what better crew to have, right? So, with February coming up, what are you two most excited for here?
I think we should talk about the tournament.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, but yeah, I'm definitely most excited for continuing the Battle.net 6 tournament. If you guys haven't noticed, we've been running a BN6 90% tournament. We just basically wrapped up the first round of winners, and so now we still have everyone still in the tournament. Everyone still has a chance to move on, but now we are proceeding into the next rounds, where we'll start to see some eliminations. And a lot of the lower bracket matches I think are going to start being really good, and the upper bracket, the winners bracket, is still going to be super good. Like, we're going to start seeing some matchups between top 2, 3, 4 runners. Like, I think that's going to be super exciting overall. I mean, we have our lad Mr. Ink, Falzar Legend versus Miri, I think, coming up, and Miri originated as a Falzar runner. He's currently now got 3rd place in Gregar, which is what Meta was talking about earlier. Miri's looking really good, and we also got a couple other really cool matchups coming up. So, in fact, my first match of the tournament is coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, so 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys follow the channel and tune into that. And I think that's sort of like the main thing that I'm looking forward to, is just keeping the ball rolling on the tournament and trying to see how it turns out in the end.
Oh, yeah. And y'all are going to want to be there, baby, because these tournament matches are absolutely incredible. If you didn't gather that from the clips you saw already, trust me, there's plenty more content to be had. And as Risch said before, these are going to be very tight matchups, pretty close in general, and Fat Kid's still playing, which means there's plenty of content to be had.
Fat Kid versus Strawberry White Block is going to be an amazing match.
Banger
in the
match,
lower bracket.
for sure.
Might be the best match of the tournament. Maybe not the fastest match, but it'll certainly be the best.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm looking forward to the big upset Kilius is gonna have against Risch.
Yep.
Risch is gonna make one mistake, not save, get sent back to the tutorial.
Oh no!
So fun fact about that, my my recent any percent attempts have been dreadful. I've gotten one train arrow in the last like maybe 15 attempts.
Oh my goodness.
Now obviously when I got that train arrow, I was on world record pace until Skytown, almost Mr. Weather Comps. But that's besides the point. So I'm very excited to get Mock Gun in Central 1, so I can't progress there, and then I'm gonna get no train arrows, maybe like 5 encounters in the backup comp. It's gonna be great.
So Risch has apparently been cursed, so Kilios, that's gonna be quite the match.
Very excited for it.
We're gonna have to see. It's gonna be a guaranteed good one though. And I'm very excited for everything coming up, because we've got about 2.5 months to the Legacy Collection, and now you have a brand new show to keep up with all of the different things that happen over the course of the month. And it's right here. You're watching it right now, or as a video maybe, but it's right now live.
Hi, YouTube.
Indeed. So, gentlemen, anything you have to say before we sign off here for the day?
Not me. Thank you, Meta, for hosting this. Consider this like an open invitation to anyone watching, that if you want to do something Battle Network related, we are interested in more content. We just need people to sort of like step up and own a show. So Risch and Kamari and Arathar are like, let's do a Bean 6 tournament. So they organized it, and now we're doing it. And then Meta's like, I want to do a monthly kind of Battle Network news show. And that was mostly just his idea, and then we kind of like helped put everything together. But it's largely his work. So if you want to participate in something or own a show, it's like the opportunity's there. Just step up, and we'll help you however we can.
I can't agree. Even if it's something you want to run monthly, weekly, bi-monthly, like I think that overall, just like getting more and more different types of shows, even just like scheduled, even if it's just a one-time thing. Like technically speaking, the Battle Network 6 any percent tournament is going to be a one-time thing for now. We do want to do future tournaments as well, but that won't necessarily happen for like even another 6+ months or so. So just like any amount of content, definitely recommend you share it in the Team BN Discord in planning, or just DM, myself or Tara with your pitch of some sort, and we'll try and help you make it happen.
There's a lot of potential with, I think, randomizers and bingo. There's clearly some interest there, but how to like turn it into a show or a tournament takes a little bit of nuance.
Oh, I want to definitely jump into a randomizer.
Yeah, I think something else that came to mind was doing like not necessarily weekly. I know that as an example, the Paper Mario rando community has weekly randomizer races, and they're starting up a league of some sorts. And I think that we could kind of take from that and do maybe not weekly, maybe bi-weekly, maybe monthly, just randomizer or bingo races. So definitely something to think about as future content ideas.
Indeed, indeed. Now you'll have to be competing with me for production quality, but it is what it is. I'll have you know I had a lot of fun editing that clip reel, so I could have thrown in more. Part of it was I ran out of time, and part of it was I was like, man, it doesn't need to be too edited, because I'm going to be honest, we already have some real incredible folks here that are already very funny in their own right without any need for assistance.
I maintain it's really hard to top my production value of playing the soundtrack over the game. Very, very difficult to top that.
That was pretty good.
I was killing it by the end. I had it all figured out. Once I was able to read the moon runes and decipher them, it was over.
It's all right. I've done it. But
yeah,
hey.
and speaking of clips, it's hard to catch all the best moments as these matches happen. So if you see something as you're watching a match, feel free to take a clip of it. We've got a channel dedicated to clips. And if anyone's interested in like being an editor of the channel and cutting highlights and stuff, that's something that and social media are areas that we could always use more help on.
Indeed, please. Taking clips helps a lot. I tried my best to go through every, the streams and all the different runs that have been submitted, but I only have so much time I can watch all these things. So if you're there and you see it, take a clip. I'll tell you from my personal perspective, every time someone takes a clip of anything I'm doing, I'm absolutely flattered. It makes me really happy to go back and watch and see what people thought were funny. And I'm sure that these gentlemen, everybody else out there that's running their stream finds it to be the same way.
Definitely agree. And like, as you mentioned, we've had, just to kind of put on top of that, we've had 8 tournament matches so far, and that's about 3 hours per match of content. That's like 24 hours of content to dig through if it's not already clipped. So if you're watching, you see something funny live, just feel free to clip it. Post it in our Discord channel. It will get filtered if you try and post it in chat. So make sure you post it in our Discord clips channel for sure.
So thank y'all so much for being here. I'm really glad we got to kick this off here in pretty much the best way I could have imagined. And well, I'm really excited for what the future month holds. You'll be catching me back here along with another triage of guests here on the next monthly virus scan coming up in February. So once again, thank you, Risch and Taraj, for having me on here. And hey, I hope that you all are maybe tempted to get into some speed running. We got plenty of great runs available to you. If you like what you see with BN6 any percent, you can try that out. And if you don't have the time for it, 2 scenario. You can just go all the way up to Dive Man and stop. You watch one of those matches, you see about the time where they fight them. What, 30 to 40 minutes, y'all think? Hour max, probably?
Longest one is Delete Shademan in about an hour-ish for BN5,
Yeah.
so
So
And even then, you can just do whatever you want. Just like you want to do like delete Blizzman, go for it. You know, just do whatever makes you happy if it's something that gets you interested. So
exactly. That's what we're hoping for. Get into it. And hey, if you do a run and you submit it, well, I'll feature you here next month. So might as well. Come on, you'll be up here on the screen. Come on down. It'll be a fun time. I want to see more than 8 runs next month. That's what I want to see. I want to see at least 10. So hopefully y'all are getting ready to go in there, submit, have a fun time, and hey, come compete with some of us. Except for, you know, I don't know, these two are on another level. You can compete with me. Go play BN4. Someone needs to take the 2 scenario record for me in BN4. I am still Blue Moon Tourney champion, baby. or Den Tourney. Blue Moon I'm still getting on.
it is a little difficult for me to get runs up there. I have to actually PB to submit them. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
yes, of course. That's
do
what
a lot of runs. Not a whole lot of submissions to speedrun.com.
That's all right. Your clips will show up anyway. I know for a fact we'll have at least one good one of you next month.
I'm sure.
And if not, you'll probably find one or all of us on the commentary desk at any given point for our BN6 90% tournament as we continue to go. But for today, we've gone about an hour 16, and honestly, that's a pretty great time to call it. So thank you all so much for being here to watch. Thank you for supporting Team BN. If you haven't followed already, well, why the heck not? Why don't you go ahead and give it a follow so you can keep up with everything we're doing? And, you know, sub for some pretty cool emotes. I'm going to be honest. I think I use ProgChamp a good amount. There's some other good ones in there. You're going to want them. And plus, you get more points to be able to style change into inevitably the worst style you could possibly imagine. So you're going to need more to change yourself off of it. So, y'all take care. Signing off now. And we'll see you next month for another monthly virus scan. Take care, everybody.